Hey guys, welcome to my new segment called Batch Chat. Here on Batch Chat, I will discuss with you things that did not happen in the current Bachelor episode. I feel like sometimes my reviews go a little long because not only are we talking about the current Bachelor episode that just premiered, we're also talking about everything that's going on in Bachelor Nation. So I just wanted to give a separate section of dialogue for Bachelor Nation here on my channel. And I didn't want to call it Bachelor Nation Tea, just because a lot of this stuff isn't tea, you know what I mean? Like, I only know what you guys give me and some stuff that I overhear, industry stuff, but a lot of industry stuff, I can't even tell you guys. So I'm not going to call it Bachelor Nation Tea, although the name was catchy for a minute. So I'm going to call it Batch Chat because a lot of it is catching up. Some of it is tea. Some of it is just predicting when or when not somebody will, finally get married in Bachelor Nation. So I just wanted to start this for you guys because I've noticed that we do spend a lot of time talking throughout the week about just everything else that's happening in Bachelor Nation. And I just didn't want to have one section just for that because there's so much that we have to talk about. So we're going to keep the Bachelor reviews on Monday night. Then I'm going to do a more structured review of the current Bachelor episode the following day. But possibly during the end of the week or probably on the weekend, expect a fresh episode of Batch Chat. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. So we talked about this a bit in my live, but I wanted to expound on it a bit more. We talked about, I said it was variety. It's actually Entertainment Weekly. Entertainment Weekly interviewed Mike Fleiss, who is the producer, has been for 16 years of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, all of the Bachelor spinoffs. That is his baby, right? So I wanted to find out why he picked Colton, but I was following him on Twitter, but he plays a lot like that, and so his antics on Twitter got on my nerves a bit. But I read this interview with him with Entertainment Weekly, and it all really made sense to me. I understood from a business standpoint why he picked Colton, and also as a fan. So it made sense, and it really helped me get into the season. So I wanted to just share this with a lot of you guys who have been struggling to keep up with the season and just give you a bit of an insight on what really made me want to look out for this season. Because like a lot of you guys, I was heartbroken over Blake. But after reading this interview, I was like, okay, I can get into it. And I'm glad I did because the women, woohoo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And that makes great TV. The title of the article is called The Bachelor creator Mike Fleiss explains why he chose Colton over Blake and Jason. He didn't even have to explain Jason to me. I just wanted to know why he chose Colton. So the first question asked by the interviewer, Kristen Baldwin. Work. I don't know if she has any affiliation to that them white rabble rousers, okay? Them Baldwins is knucking and bucking all up and down these Hollywood streets. Anyway, she asked, why was Colton the right guy to be the Bachelor? And Mike says, all the guys we could have gone with, they all have their pluses and misses, It's always a very difficult choice, and people get angry no matter who we choose. No. I wasn't pissed about anybody else like I was pissed about Colton becoming the Bachelor, just because I felt like he was such a peacock. He was showing his feathers. You knew this dude wanted to be the Bachelor, and he was so thirsty for it. For me, it was a turnoff. I don't really get that emotionally involved. I normally review the show and just have a good time, but I clearly thought that Blake was cheated. So I didn't get angry until recently, until you pulled that mess with Colton. But let's keep on reading. The only person that we ever chose who didn't seem to piss people off was Juan Pablo. Is that true? Was Twitter even around then? It was 100% approval for the choice of Juan Pablo, so it's hard to figure. Guys, is that true? Because a lot of you guys comment about Juan Pablo in my comment section on, you DM me on Twitter, you DM me on Instagram, and you really drag Juan Pablo in my YouTube comment section. So when I read that, I was like, is that really accurate? You got to get amongst the people, Mike. And concerning Colton, he says, we like this guy. He's interesting. He's certainly hunky. He looks the part. I agree. Even with the lisp. He's an all-American kid, a football player. The virginity thing is interesting. Not after episode 2. We're done. We're done. And we think that just the potential of Colton losing his virginity creates added stakes for this season. I don't want to see those 6'5" men get deflowered on national TV. And I cannot believe Cookie Cutter ABC is selling this to me on a platter. but I still want to work on your network. No shade. When we sat with all the guys that we were considering, Colton just seemed like a star. I agree. Hate him or love him. I told y'all that dude is going to use this as a jump off to, catapult him into some type of, I'm telling you, either he's going to get a deal with Netflix, Epix TV, Showtime, one of them networks. He's going to become some like action star. Like, the movies I'm talking about, those death race movies, those, boxing, like the only white guy boxing in the hood, street fighting story. One of those movies, Colton is going to be the lead star. He's probably going to be like the next, what is his name? Jason Statham? Jason Statham. I'm saying that wrong, but you know what I mean. He's always saving some woman or some child from being abducted. They're going to put him in a role where he doesn't have to have much acting experience. He just has to look the part. I can see him playing all them kind of bodyguard movies, or, I'm not boxing no more. I'm done with that life. And then doing some kind of street fight to win back the love of some, single mother on welfare in Boston. One of those movies. I'm telling you, mark my words. That's where Colton is going. So I agree with Mike. Colton is a star. When I saw him on TV, I was just like, this boy ain't serious about this Bachelor stuff. He's using this to get in front of the people so that he can catapult himself into another kind of celebrity. And that's, whether it's D-list or Z-list, it's still a check. Mike continues to say, when you're in the room with him, you're like, that's a big personality, a big presence. He just won us over. And he has grown from the time he was on The Bachelorette. Lies! But I hear you, Mike. You got to sell your product. I see you. I think the Bachelor in Paradise experience did add to his maturity. What? If anything, I felt like it made Colton an even worse choice for the Bachelor because he just did not seem ready for anything in Paradise. So the fact that he couldn't make a commitment to T and he was going back and forth, you mean to tell me that this dude, that experience then made this dude ready for marriage? Just say he was blonde, white, tall, and cute. Just say that. You know what I mean? Like, I respect it. He was fine, he's tall, and he might bang some chick and lose his virginity on national TV. And America will watch, because although we got God on the money, we are hoes, okay? This nation loves sex and violence. We love a shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Here is where Mike talks about Blake and Jason and why he went with Colton. The interviewer, let me get your name right. I want to be respectful because, girl, I know how it is. Kristen Baldwin says, Jason and Blake both made it pretty clear on social media that they wanted the job. I disagree, Kristen. I disagree. I felt like Jason was campaigning hard. I also felt like Blake knew that he was probably in the running and he was playing it cool. I didn't see him really being thirsty like that. I didn't see him say no to anybody asking him if he was the Bachelor. I think he was keeping up the suspense, and I think that's what you do when you're on the show. I feel like you're contractually obligated to not answer, but to keep that suspense with the fans. But I felt like Jason was doing the most. Jason, like Colton, was campaigning to be the Bachelor during the whole season of The Bachelorette. I felt that from the minute both of them hit the scene. I didn't get that from Blake. And it's sad because I feel like, just like Peter, Blake's time is probably gone. And that sucks because I feel like he's a Bachelor that we deserve. So to Kristen's question, where she says that Jonathan and Blake both made it pretty clear on social media that they wanted to be the Bachelor, Mike says, yeah, which isn't necessarily a good thing, Shade. It's a hard decision to make every time. The Jason people are pissed. The Blake people are pissed. Oh no. We mad as hell, bro. Mad as hell. If we had chosen Blake, the Jason people still would have been pissed. I disagree. I think Jason fans would have been disappointed, but they all would have been Team Blake. I think even if you were Team Jason, you were first Team Blake and still in the sidelines, Team Blake, but you wanted to root for Jason because you like him too. But if the roles went to Blake, you be on board. Really, you can't look for 100% approval. You got to make your best decision in terms of the story potential. Got it? As a future producer, well, no, I am a producer. I'm producing this damn show. But as a producer, I get that because Colton has a very interesting storyline. So does Blake. I think that maybe Colton was a cookie cutter choice. That's what I feel like, especially when I look at the girls. All the women, ranging in ethnicities, not ranging, but we all got a little bit of something in there. all are the same girl. Very cookie cutter, very never been kissed, very, oh, I had sex, but I regretted it. It's very, I hate saying this because I haven't been there and I don't know everybody there. And I feel like it's such a stereotype, but Bible Belt, you know what I mean? Shout out to anybody who watches me from the Bible Belt. I know that this is not how all of you guys are, but it's been said that a majority of that area acts this way, but very by the Bible. So it's very, I feel bad. Oh, I'm repenting for kissing a guy. I feel bad. And Colton is virginal and, oh, let's get married and have kids and have, missionary sex. That's what I feel like they're going back to. And I don't think that about Tristan and Ryan, but I think that when The Bachelor and The Bachelorette first started off, it was very innocent. I feel like it got a little salacious, as the generation of fans started to change, as social media became a big part in it. And, I think they just wanted to get back to the roots. I also think that Blake would have been a great storyline, but I think he would have been a little bit of a downer because let's be honest, I love my Blake, but he's a bit of a downer sometimes. And I think with the school shootings and everything happening and, the fight for gun control, I do not think that they wanted to have somebody on who would potentially kind of be a poster boy for gun control or, bringing school shootings back into the conversation. You know what I mean? Because Colton's virginity was a huge thing about him. We hear about his virginity every second of the show, even in the damn commercials. We're talking about this boy's virginity. Could you imagine Blake surviving the school shooting? Huge. They would have talked about that every episode. And I don't think that they wanted to polarize the audience or to have a show that's controversial. They just wanted a fluff show. They ain't want all of that. That's why we steered away a lot of that from Rachel's season. And I, as a Black woman, got it. I understood. As a Black woman in the industry, I got it and I understood. However, as a Black person, racism is a huge part of our lives because we spend the majority of our day trying to survive. I was kind of disappointed that wasn't put in her storyline, but I got it. I understood what the show was, and this was just not going to come up because that is not what The Bachelor or The Bachelorette is about, and that's not what it was built on. They don't go deep. It's very fluff, very cookie cutter, so I got it. And I felt like Blake would have been great. He would have been a great Bachelor if this show was on HBO. ABC was like, listen, we got our limits, and this was a limit. So basically, the interview wraps up with Mike being coy or whatever, but just basically saying that Colton is a great choice because his story will bring a lot of suspense and romance. True. Blake's season would have been all of that and then a lot of drama. You know what I mean? A lot of sadness. Like Blake, he's a moody dude. So we would have been taken on a roller coaster, which is, I don't mind that. But I don't think the creator of this show or the production or the network wanted to go there. Understood. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is showbiz. So that was Mike Fleiss's Entertainment Weekly interview about why he chose Colton to be the Bachelor. I'm going to put the link to this interview in my description box if you want to check it out yourself. There's a bit more, but I think I read the meats and bones of it. And maybe that will help you not in the words of Just Call Me Why, hate watch this show, but that you'll get into it. I'm not trying to sell nobody on this show. I just want you guys to have a good time when you come here to discuss it after. You know what I mean? I don't want y'all to be miserable watching that show just so you can come here and talk to me. Although I appreciate you going through it, I want you to have a good time too. Now, let's get into some mess. Dean on Access Hollywood. We talked about it a bit in my live, but I had to talk to y'all about it a bit more because I went back to that interview and I was still gagged. First of all, Dean was up there looking hot, tanned, and homeless, okay? I came to find out later on his Instagram that he's traveling with some company. And so I think he just got out of Australia and it is hot as hell there because that was no bake, what y'all call it? Caucasians. Fake bake? Is that what it's called? When it's like you put the skin color on? Not blackface, Nikki. What is it called? whatever. It wasn't the kind of tan that you put on. Can I tell you, one of my very best friends, Drew DeAndrea, he loves this suntan lotion from it's just Rite Aid. It's just this Rite Aid suntan lotion for $4. He don't leave home without it. Anywhere we go, he got a bag. Even when his daughter was a little baby, he would put his tanning lotion in her baby bag. And I'm like, are you tanning the baby? He said, oh, that's just for me. I don't leave home without it. Sorry, Drew, I didn't mean to put you out there like that. But he needs to buy stock in that, because that boy, since we were kids, Rite Aid suntan lotion, it was like $4. Anyway, so Dean is on Access Hollywood looking orange, okay? So I thought that he was going through a little something. Maybe it was alcoholism, maybe it was homelessness. I don't know, but he did not look good. But I realized he was in Australia traveling, and I think that Dean is just done at this point. He's done with Bachelor Nation. I don't know what happened. I felt like he had a really bad meeting with the producers of Bachelor Nation, or was trying to maybe do something else with Bachelor Nation, or maybe he is just pissed that his relationship with Leslie didn't work out, because I know that she just posted her new boyfriend on her Instagram, and maybe he had saw her Instagram before he came into that interview. But let me tell you something, Dean was locked and loaded. Thank you to, I'm forgetting your name right now, but I am going to tag your comment in this, uploaded in this video. Thank you so much for sending me that link, because girl, I watched that and I got my whole life. I was like, Dean, I was really nervous for him, because when you do these reality TV shows, you sign an NDA. So there's things that you can't say. Saying that these Bachelor Nation relationships are fake, that has to be in the NDA. So I was nervous for him, but he did not care. He said, I'm going to also tag the interview in my description box as well. Dean said all of the Bachelor Nation relationships are fake. None of them are real, not even the ones who are married. And then the interviewer was like, not the people who are married and have kids. And he was like, maybe a few of them. Like, he was so over it. And people were like, oh, you seem bitter. I agree. But I also felt like he was telling the truth. I also felt like he was like, the hell with it. I'm done with Bachelor Nation. I'm not getting back into any of this. I'm going to live my life skydiving in Australia. I don't want to come back to none of this. So I'm going to ruin all of my chances for getting on any spinoff in Bachelor Nation. This stuff is fake. People stay together for the products, for the fame, for the notoriety, for, the fans screaming at them when they're in Target. Because I told you guys, they can't go back to regular jobs. You think that I'm going to be the Bachelorette for a whole season, be on the cover of People magazine with some dude that I'm in a contractual relationship with, and then go back to my managership at JCPenney's? Never. Never. So they have to keep this fakery up. They have to work this into something else until their fit tummy tea that they are selling on Instagram starts making them serious money, until they get a Fashion Nova deal. They can't really break up. You know what I mean? They got to milk that relationship for all it's worth. And I think he felt like Leslie was doing that to him, that their relationship wasn't real, because he said that he felt like when the cameras were on, she was a little bit more animated. She did a bit more. And in her defense, that has to be producer prodding and producer coaching, because the thing about it is they want you to be very reactionary on TV, because we only have so much time of you guys in the house. So when you're on camera, they want you to be aware. They want you to work it. They want you to give us a show. You're on TV. So she just didn't give to me that. She just didn't give that off to me that she was some kind of opportunist. I didn't get that from her. And so I'm thinking that maybe because his relationship went sour, Dean is blaming the Bachelor for that. And I think maybe he is a little bitter about that. But I think because he is bitter, he is speaking truth. Some of it is just his truth, but I do agree that a lot of the relationships in Bachelor Nation are not real. I do believe that a lot of couples stay together for the products and the things that they can get out of it. And because, in all honesty, I get it and I understand, you can't return to regular life after The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Like, you can't, especially now in this day and age. Not only are you on TV, clips of you and memes of you live forever on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Now it's people all over the world seeing your episode the same day it airs. Do you know what I mean? Before, you would have to wait some time for it to get overseas. Now, people just upload it on the internet. So you can watch it the same day. And so you're dealing with millions of fans all over the world. How embarrassing would that be for you to pull up and I'm over here taking your 4 for 4 at Wendy's? Like, oh my goodness, is that Nikki, the Bachelorette? Hi, ma'am. Do you want sweet and sour sauce? Because I got a line. Like, I understand. I get it. I really, really do. But baby, I wasn't ready for Dean to go buck wild on Access Hollywood. Side note, his hair looked great. First of all, I felt like I could smell him through my computer screen. And not in a good way. But when he lifted up that hat and pulled back that hair, child, it did a little something to me. I love his hair. I love Dean's hair. And he know he got good hair. He knows. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. Let's get back to Colton. So remember I told you that word on the street. When I say word on the street, I mean somebody in the industry told me this. But if ever it comes back that I done told y'all something on this show I wasn't supposed to tell y'all, tag a sister, tell me to delete the video, have my back, because I'm not going to court with the Bachelor. I ain't got that kind of coin, okay? Anyway, so word on the street is, word on the street is that the women are not into Colton. There's something about him that he is just turning all of the women off, and the ones who make it towards the end are doing it for other opportunities, right? So recently, I won't say her name because a lot of you do not like spoilers, so I'm just going to keep it very vague. A contestant who was on the same season as Colton, she sent a snap to her friend, and her shady friend gonna put the snap on the internet for everybody to see it. But assuming that this girl is the winner, she was saying, or gets close to the end, she said that she dumped him because he's super weird and awkward. I believe it. I think that Colton is so awkward. Hannah, the what's her name? Hannah. The beauty queen. I don't know what I was trying to say. The beauty queen made him look normal. You know how awkward that girl is and how awkward she had to be to make that dude look normal? So I had already been hearing this during the filming of the season, that there is something about him that is turning the women off. They don't feel comfortable around him. And I'm like, all that height, all that beefiness, that smile. How is he like, what is he doing? And I'm starting to think that maybe we are getting the scammer, the opportunist on camera. And maybe when the camera's cut off, he's a totally different person. Or it could be Colton is just very awkward. Being a theater kid, I know awkward, okay? I have my moments. Within the theater community, a lot of us get this very weird and kind of awkward vibe. Like a lot of people assign that to us, especially when we're very young, because we go on stage and we do these huge characters and we are making people laugh, we are making people cry, we are taking you through a range of emotions. And then you come backstage and we meet you out of costume, out of character, and we're muted, we're very standoffish. You're like, who the hell is this weirdo? That can't be that girl that was up there singing and spinning around the stage. Not her. Beyonce, I've heard that about her. I've heard that she is very shy, very standoffish, very, I'm not gonna call it a queen, awkward, very theater kid. And let me just be clear, I said theater kid, not musical theater. Two different beasts, okay? Them musical theater kids. I'll do a video on musical theater kids later, but child, woo! So I understand maybe if Colton is different when the cameras go off, because I think that he's probably putting on a character of the Bachelor, of wanting to get married, of wanting to find the one, of wanting to be in love. Maybe that's his character so that he can get to the next step and get to another tax bracket, another social circle. That's what he's chasing after. So he can put on the cloak of these different people so that he could achieve what he wants to achieve. But when he's not on, he's probably totally different, and that is turning the women off. I understand that. I'm not going to get into whether or not he's gay, closeted, or whatever, because I think a lot of people have already talked about that. I don't feel comfortable talking about that. I personally have people in my family that I'm very close to, and my best friends, a few of my best friends who came out in college. That was probably the hardest thing they could have ever done. In their lives after, it got better, but it was really difficult for them. So if he is, gay and he's closeted right now, I'm not pushing that boy out no closet. I understand. I've seen people go through hell, and some of them haven't even come out of that yet because they finally decided to live their truth. So I just don't want to talk about that, and I don't want you guys to talk about that either. I'm not chastising anybody. I just, if that is what he is dealing with, I just don't want to pile on to that, because I don't like it. I don't like the jokes being made about him or the speculations, because if that is what he is dealing with, guys, he is dealing with some tough stuff, and we don't need to pile on to whatever he's already dealing with. You know what I mean? So I want to stay away from that. I just want to deal with probably him being awkward when the cameras are off, or he could be a total jerk. Now that I haven't heard. I just heard awkward. He could probably be a total jerk, and the girls are just like, boy, get that out of my face. I'm doing you a favor by even being here. I don't know, but I'm just saying, for this channel, for Nikki Star TV, we're going to stay away from the Colton gay rumors, because, and if it is, let the boy take his time. Let the boy take his time, because that ain't nothing easy to do. Not even in 2019. Shocker. Let's talk about Ari and Lauren. So I was scrolling today on my Instagram, and I follow Haley Page. I love everything she makes. I love all of her dresses. I cannot wait to wear her dresses, not just her wedding dresses. Guys, she has a store out here in LA. Whoo! I would love to wear her on a red carpet one day, and I will. But I follow her on Instagram, and this gorgeous bride came up in this beautiful dress, and I was looking at her wedding picture of her and her groom kissing, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. Lied to you not. I teared up a bit. Then I zoomed in on the picture and saw that it was Ari and Lauren. I'm sorry, Becca. I am so sorry. But I have to let you guys know the truth. On this day, mark it in your calendars. On today, Thursday, January 17th, I have officially let my beef go with Ari and Lauren. That wedding picture got to my heart. They both looked so happy. I was looking at the picture. First of all, Chris Harrison married them. He was the officiant. The setting was so beautiful. Her dress was beautiful. It just, I don't like what Ari did to Becca. And I can give him a bit of leeway, because I do feel like this was producer prodding and this was his storyline, right? But that wedding got right to my heart. It was so beautiful. So I let it go. I want them to live happy, have a beautiful, healthy baby, just live their best lives in Arizona. I just have fun. I let it go. I let it go. The same way I let Rachel live her best life with Brian. Let it go. Who also, guys, she's going to get married soon. She said that she was going to get married early in 2019, like in the first few months. So it's coming. I bet you that girl get married in April, and probably Texas. I don't think she's going to get married in Miami. She was talking about that she might get married in Miami, but I'm just like, girl, with that unpredictable weather, why would you do that? Especially, and it don't seem like she got a perm. Girl, you got natural hair that you press out. You want to get married in Miami? Texas, girl. Or do LA. Don't do Texas. No shade to Texas, but you know what? Interracial. You know what? Let me stop. I was about to be like, do they allow interracial marriages? They do. I actually heard, getting on topic, that's me. I actually heard that interracial marriages, relationships, multiracial children are huge in the South. Huge. I'm such an ignorant northerner. I was shocked by that. I still am. But I heard that the largest number of interracial couples and marriages are located within the South. Wow. Willingly. I had to talk to you guys about this because you are the reason why I love Ben Higgins. You guys made me fall in love with him in a sister way. Like, I just love him. When I was watching him on Bachelor Winter Games, I wanted to hold my brother and be like, it's okay. You're going to find love. You're going to find love. But you guys, you were always talking about this dude. And I'm like, who the hell is Ben? And then he got on Winter Games and I was just like, I get it. I understand. Well, he's dating someone, guys. It's long distance, but he's in a healthy place. He doesn't know if it's love yet, but he's having a really good time dating someone. Now listen, I know the Bachelor Nation ain't trying to give out weddings no more to the cast, but I feel like if Ben Higgins gets married, we deserve a wedding. We all love him. I said it, so it needs to happen. He needs a wedding. I'm still pissed that the first Black Bachelorette is not getting a taped wedding on the network. But I feel like it's probably punishment for Rachel. I think they really wanted her to pick Peter because I just don't think they were okay with her decision. And that is probably why Rachel was so defensive after the show. Because she was just after the final rose, she was cussing everybody out on Twitter. And I was like, Rachel, girl, what is happening? What are you doing? I was even about to say something to her. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing because obviously you are very heated and I like you. I don't want you to cuss me out and then I get mad and feel some kind of way about you. So I didn't say anything to her, but she was cussing out everybody, specifically moms, white moms from middle America. Like, she was going at it. It was always a white woman that looked like Jamie Curtis who works at Walmart. She was cussing all of them out. And I was like, oh, Rachel is pissed. But if we can't get a Rachel and Brian wedding, I want a Ben Higgins wedding. I want it. He gives me Trista and Ryan tease. Like, just really like a good, wholesome person. See, they want Colton to be wholesome. I don't get wholesome from him. I get awkward, scammer. This is the thing. Colton has too many faces. And that's probably why the women feel weird about him, because they don't know who he is. I can't wait till we get a heifer after this season. I'm sorry, I was talking to my aunt. Very old school. I can't wait till we get a woman from this season who pulls a Dean, like right a little bit after Paradise, just goes on Access Hollywood or anywhere, probably Nikki Star TV. I'm in LA. The studio was set up and ready. Just tells all the tea. What is going on with Colton, girl? Why weren't y'all featuring him? What happened? I'm looking forward to that. I really, really am. So before I wrap this up, I wanted to also talk to you guys about Peter. So real quick, I was on his Instagram like I always am, just keeping up tabs with Bae. But I was on his Instagram and he did like a throwback picture of, he wrote some caption about having gray hair, looking fine. He did a throwback picture of him with jet black hair. Peter, just like Jeff Goldblum, just like George Clooney. Some men look better with age. Not everybody has it in their teens, in their 20s, even their 30s. I think George Clooney got to like mid to late 40s before anybody was really like, oh, this dude got it. This dude got it. Jeff Goldblum, he had to become freaking 92 before we could even start finding him sexy. Some men, just the older they get, the better they look. A majority of men hit their prime in their 20s. After 25, it's downhill for a lot of men. But then there are those particular dudes who, like, after 25, they just start glowing up. And the older they get, the better they look. Peter is one of those guys. I'm not saying that picture of him was ugly, but the Peter now, baby. Peter with the jet black hair can't get it. Peter with the gray hair, the salt and pepper can get all of it from everybody, okay? Anyway, Anyway, guys, that is it for Batch Chat. Please let me know what you think of this new segment. Also, if you have any Bachelor Nation tea that you want me to feature on the next Batch Chat, or even if it's like a catch up, some additional news, whatever it is, let a sister know. You can DM me on Instagram. You can also DM me on Twitter. You can also write me right here on YouTube. Just send me a message. I'll check it out. Let a sister know. Thank you so much for tuning in to Batch Chat, and I will see you soon for more Batch Chat. Love ya.